Let's welcome our planner this week. One half of the dynamic duo, Katie Weibel's with us from Turning Tides Financial, LLC, Orchard Park, Williamsville, and Amherst. Brand new Amherst office as of the beginning of the year. And they have an amazing team there for you to work with, an amazing team. Today, Katie's going to share with you one of my favorites, estate planning, and why it's so important to financial planning. So listen up, get your crayons ready and your foolscap to take some notes, take down some phone numbers, because you're going to get it straight in between your eyes from Katie this morning. From Barris Smith Professional Corporation, they look after commercial and residential real estate as well as estate planning in Canada. So I have some gift certificates for 2 adult wills prepared for free. Call Joel now. You don't go on the air. Give him your information and request one of these gift certificates from Barris Smith Law in Canada for your estate planning, and I will make sure they go out this weekend like I do always. And to all of you who have requested them, great job. You got it. You understand the reason behind estate planning. So let's welcome Katie Weibel right now, because she's going to shed some light on how important estate planning is when it comes to your financial future. It's not just about having a portfolio of investments. It's beyond that. It's beyond that. Good morning, Katie.
Good morning, Niall. Thank you for having us today.
Hey, you're welcome. It's always a blessing, sister, my sister from another mother, to have you with us. Take a moment to introduce yourself.
Likewise, my friend. So I'm Katie Weibel. I'm managing partner of Turning Tides Financial. We are a financial planning firm that does things a little bit differently. We help individuals and families with their finances from start to finish, not just their investments. And we feel very passionate about one of the important pillars, which is estate planning, because we've seen it dozens and dozens of times. People have missed really important factors that take place in that. So that's something we wanted to talk about today.
Wow, I think I hear some furry friends behind the scenes. Do they have an estate plan?
Yeah, so a lot of people, say, well, I did my will, I'm good to go, or I did my power of attorneys, I'm okay. And there's a lot that goes into that, you have to sit down with someone and kind of walk through that. So attorneys play a very important role, and that in New York, they do the legal paperwork for you, and we need to have them to do that. But when you work with a financial advisor, you kind of dig a little bit deeper, and being through it so many times personally and professionally, I've seen where things can go awry. So, the typical family will say, well, when I die, everything goes to my spouse, and then after that, it goes to my children. It's pretty simple. But it doesn't get so simple when you start adding layers. So the IRS says there are certain accounts that are what's called beneficiary driven. That doesn't pass through your will or estate. So it's extremely important that we stay aware of that and that we're paying attention to having the conversations about those accounts. So if you have retirement dollars, no matter where they're held, whether it be in an employer plan or an individual IRA, or even some people have annuities, whether it's retirement dollars or not, or life insurance, those aren't going to go through your estate as far as passing to those beneficiaries on your will. So we need to make sure that we're staying abreast and on top of that every year. Are those beneficiaries on those accounts the way you want things to pass? And we also have to think about final expenses. I know, myself turning 40, just this past month, I purchased my plots. I know it's kind of strange to do it that early, but I've just been through so much that it was something that God put on my heart and that I really wanted to do. But, a lot of people will say, well, my life insurance will pay for my funeral, and, I'll let my kids figure that out. I will tell you, as being the child who has lost parents, don't put that on your children. Please don't put that on your children. Let's sit down and figure that out ahead of time. What is it that you want? Where do you want to go? What's most important to you? And that life insurance, like a lot of individuals will say, well, I put my oldest child on as my joint bank account owner, and she's my executor, so I'll put her as beneficiary in everything. Well, law says that, that life insurance and that bank account goes to that individual, and whether they choose to share it with your estate or not is really up to them. They don't have to. So, and most people, good-hearted, will do the right thing, but money changes people, even with the best of intentions.
Yes.
So it's important that we have these conversations and we talk through and we safeguard things and structure your accounts and how they're titled and how your beneficiaries are well before you even go do your will. We can do it after, but it's much better to do it before, so that when you go to your attorney, you have everything in line. You know what it is that you want, what accounts that you have, how everything is titled, who's beneficiary on what. And then you can go into that meeting with that attorney educated and prepared and save yourself billable hours. And then the attorney can structure the legal documents to proceed as forward. And there's lots of things you need to think about. Do you have a special needs child? Do you have maybe a child that you don't want, or an adult child? I say child, but that could be an adult as well.
Right.
Do you want that person to get a lump sum? Do you feel that maybe their money management skills aren't quite there yet? That maybe they need it over time or in pieces? And those are all things we need to decide before you go to that attorney appointment to set up that will. So that's what we do with our clients, is we help them come up with the right policies and procedures and processes to go through that. And then when you get into families with second marriages, it's a whole nother level of planning. And I've seen it time and time again where everyone has the best of intentions and everything's split between, children from both marriages, and that's not how it plays out in the end. So there's things you can do ahead of time if you take the time to plan to avoid those things later and avoid, the repercussions of not planning properly is people get hurt feelings and relationships get damaged. And if we could take the time ahead of time and prepare all of that, so there is no question and everything goes smoothly and we can save those relationships and those feelings and those emotions, why not? Why not make it easier on our family and our loved ones? So the preface is that you take the time and you do it now and you don't wait, because we never know. We never know when we get called home.
That's right. We don't get out of this thing called life alive. That's what I checked in on. The research shows that 100% of the population will not get out of this thing called life alive. So since we know that, and we don't know how many days we have here visiting this planet, like you were saying, Katie, 9 out of 10, the statistic in Canada is 9 out of 10 Christian families don't have an estate plan. And I only have, and I only have one word for that: disgusting. Seriously, stewardship. Are there any pastors that have the guts to talk about stewardship and mean it?
Yeah.
Drill down, lean in, whatever you want to call it from the pulpit. We got to be warriors for Christ, and do what's necessary, even if it's something uncomfortable to talk about. So, Katie, I would like you to talk to those 9 out of 10 Christian people that are listening right now that sit back and have made a million excuses why not to take care of the car. But don't talk about that. I'll take care of that. But why not to get an estate plan? I'll drill down and lean in on that, trust me. But, forget all the fancy. Yeah, go ahead. Let's talk about. Go ahead.
Think about in your life, like how many times have you heard or seen or had a loved one die totally unexpectedly, no matter their age. So don't let that happen to you, and don't let that happen to your family, and have you be unprepared.
Thanks, Katie.
And there's really inexpensive ways that we can set that up to, and it's not as grueling or as expensive as people think. And alongside of that, comes all the other things that need to be done too. For people who want to go above and beyond that, we have a 6-month workshop that we do with our clients, where each month we break down each pillar of your financial plan. And it's important to make sure that you're not leaving money on the table. You're not missing something that could be benefiting you. And even financial advisors need to be doing this. It's funny when you manage other people's money, how much you forget to do your own. But it's vital and it's important. And, just recently I put myself through my own workshop, and I found a $400 savings a month. I mean, come on. I should know better, right? So,
right.
Everyone has to do it, no matter how good you are or how educated and knowledgeable you are about your money. It's always good to have a second opinion and someone else there with you and going through those steps with you. Because just from experience, of 17 years, I've seen so much happen,
Yes.
both good and bad. But I can take all of those things that we've learned and apply that to your situation and where you are, so we can avoid mistakes in the future, and make sure things pass the way you want them to pass. So it's exciting. I love it. I'm very passionate about it. I love working with the people who come through us through Card Connection. Now, you truly have been a blessing. And so we want to extend 3 90-minute strategy sessions to your listeners today, where we will sit down and actually take action and go over what you have, and then come up with a financial roadmap for what we think you need going forward.
Amen to that. We only have a couple of minutes left, but Katie, I'd really like you to drill down into the heads of those who are listening right now that still use the excuse, and they're listening to the ultimate liar. That would be the devil himself, telling you the phone weighs 600 pounds and that you don't need a financial plan or estate plan. You don't need to prepare for that. How about for those people that don't do that, and they have blended families, his kids, her kids, no one is medical power of attorney, and someone passes away? What does that look like?
Oh, I could tell you horror story after horror story. So,
no doubt.
Yeah, it's tough, because in the end, what it does is it destroys relationships. So, like I said, everyone has the best of intentions, and we never, want to judge one, but money does change people, whether it's in divorce or in death or what have you. It's just the enemy gets in there and it destroys things. I've seen, has second marriages for both husband and wife, and children on both sides, and when the one person passed away, everything went to the wife, and then the wife wanted to help her children out, and then the other children of the husband got really upset, and it totally destroyed those relationships.
Wow.
And so even if you put money aside, because money's money, right?
Yes.
It separated the family, and that's very sad. And then when you have
sad.
the next generation of children, then they don't have those cousins and all of that, and that's even sadder. So it's extremely important, and I promise I don't bite, and I won't make it really difficult on you. But pick up the phone and make that call, make that appointment. It's 90 minutes out of your week. I do
awesome,
Saturdays, we do evenings, like we have an attorney in house. So it's important that you just have to do it, and it doesn't take a whole lot of effort other than picking up the phone to make the appointment.
Right.
And we can be very easily reached. So you can visit our website at turningtidesfinancial.com. You can call us at 716-800-4290. Or right on our website, you can send us an email, and we can, schedule you via that way as well. So very accessible. Our cell phones are right on our website as well. So you just have to take the action to make the call to make the appointment.
Katie, can you take 1 minute to tell our listeners what probate means?
Yeah. So probate is when you do nothing and you don't have beneficiaries and you don't have a will and you pass away, and anything that you own. So if you own a property or a house or a car, you have money in your checking account or your savings account, you have a retirement account, all of that, whichever ones that you have, now have to go to a judge, and it goes to surrogate's court in New York, and they have 6 to 9 months minimum, and typically it could go even much longer, where the judge decides who is your next of kin and whether that money will pass and or whether it will be absorbed by New York State. It's a very heavy fee process. You have to hire an attorney, and you lose a lot of the estate in that process. So that's the road you do not want to go down. And that's what you want to avoid most of all, is going through that probate. So everything you have, even if it's, in the estate or not in the estate, it needs to be titled with a beneficiary or a joint owner. And that's where we walk through and go through each one. And that's why we go through each one of your assets with you. Yeah,
so
to avoid that.
So if they
but
do
if you
nothing,
want to leave it to Uncle Sam and not your church, then do
exactly. Do nothing. Then just do what you're doing. As a 9 out of 10 Christian family that does not have an estate plan for whatever reason or excuse that is, you're listening to the devil, and he's winning. He's kicking you, and you're allowing him to do that. We need to be good stewards of what's been entrusted to us, and just remember that God is the only one that owns everything. He's the most materialistic person in the entire world because he owns everything. But that doesn't mean you don't have to do anything. It means you have to take care of things because he's not here in person. So we got to get it done. So Katie, you guys have been gracious enough to provide 3 90-minute breakout sessions for our U.S. listeners. Let them know how they can connect with you and how they can claim one of those 90-minute sessions with you and get things happening and get their estate plan put together.
Absolutely. So give us a call at 716-800-4290. Hop on our website, turningtidesfinancial.com, or send us an email at info@turningtidesfinancial.com, and we'll do a 15-minute discovery call prior to our meeting, and we'll talk about where you are and what's most important, and then I'll have you bring everything with you, and we'll sit down and do that 90-minute strategy session together.
Katie, thank you so much for joining us this morning, and thank you for drilling down on this topic of estate planning and how important it is. And that is one of the main pillars to your financial plan, yes?
It is the foundation.
It's the
It is the absolute foundation.
Yeah. So, Katie, have a great Memorial Day weekend with you and your family. Have some fun, get something good happening, and we'll talk to you soon, sister.
Thank you, Niall. Have a blessed weekend.
God bless. Bye for now. God bless. Bye for now. God bless. Bye.